Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks. And grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Boxing is back this Saturday with no nonsense at the Complex. The Midwest's best professional boxers will display their best performances with hometown favorites Clyde Godzilla Johnson and Jack Lawless Frericks among the boxers. Get your tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com, where you can live stream the event as well. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. this Saturday, August 30th at the Complex at 1555 Yolanda Avenue.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O, sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket, day 2 of game week. College football was technically back on Saturday, but it only counts when Nebraska plays. So the college football season officially starts this week, and that's how my world works. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to shock you. Jake, it's a loaded show. Did you know that?
Oh, I figured, yeah.
Did you know it's always a loaded show?
That's right.
It's not even I know it's kind of a running joke, but it's like seriously always a loaded show. So, reacting to Dana Holgerson's press conference, giving an update on what John Butler's defense is going to look like. Black shirts were handed out yesterday. Not 11, not 12. Let's give a reaction to the number and who got them and our thoughts on this in general. Speaking of a legendary black shirt, all-time great, an All-American, national champion, a man who at one point in time was the all-time leading tackler for the University of Nebraska. Mr. Jerry Murtaugh is going to join us at 11:30. So I'm excited about that. He used to have a show. Was it on this station or another station? I'll have to ask him when he comes on. I can't remember which station it was on. He had it for years. I think at least a decade. I came on it a couple of times. I remember one time, it was like 6-7 years ago. Probably like 10, 11 years ago, honestly. It happened to be, he would always bring two guys on. And it was me and Zach Taylor. I never knew who the other guest was going to be. One time it was Stuart Bradley. That particular day it was Zach. Now he was, I think, an assistant with A&M or maybe the Dolphins at that point. I don't remember. So obviously that was a bit of a while ago. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Adam Carriker Show. What you're going to hear, Husker sports, college football, and sports in general. What you're going to get, unique insight, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. Hour one of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology. All right. Bringing you the latest in quality technology and also communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business communications at hamiltontel.com. Again, that's hamiltontel.com. Jake, 10 black shirts were handed out yesterday. Let's chat about the number first. We dissect everything. We're talking about a uniform that we haven't even seen that we're going to wear against USC in November. Okay, we've debated that. Not a lot, honestly. I think that was more for fun than anything else. But black shirts is something that means a lot to me. This genuinely, like when we talk about alternate uniforms, I expressed my opinion, and I also said it's not that big of a deal. And then I said, let's get on board if this is what the university is asking of us. Because that ultimately is the priority. What's best for the team, the program, the university, this great state? So even though I'm not a particular fan of alternate uniforms, it's clear that the players want them. They asked us to support it, so I'm going to support it. It never hurts when you make it a blackout at night game. And the uniforms are all black. So that's never going to hurt your cause when you're chatting with me. But when it comes to black shirts, like when I think of the things that my most prized possessions, in the corner of the corner room in the basement where we put some of my most esteemed accolades up, all two of them. Black shirts, lifter of the year, other things. Like those are right up there at the top of the list. So let's overanalyze how many black shirts we're giving out, Jake. Okay, 10. What are your thoughts on 10?
I think 10's a good number. I think it's a little bit of a mix between what we've talked about before, whether, you kind of go throughout the season and earn them or you just, hand them out from the beginning. A little bit of a combination, right? So I like it. The guys that have earned it, that they feel like maybe have earned it last year, or some new guys, Marquise Watson, Trent Deshaun-McCullough among them, that they feel or have earned it throughout camp to be a starting unit. Now, it is interesting because it is a little bit different. You don't have 11, right? And some people would prefer that you would do this as a unit, right? Also interesting in the fact that we've heard from Matt Rule say defensive line is not a concern, doesn't keep him up at night. There's, that's kind of, and there's one black shirt missing on the defensive line. So I think that's a little bit interesting.
Oh, missing. You said missing. Sorry, right, I was holding up too. Go ahead.
So, again, overanalyzing, and like you said, we're going to do all that. I don't know if it's going to change too much what's going to happen against Cincinnati, but it is exciting. Like you said, it's a huge honor for a lot of these guys. The first time, Andrew Marshall, another first-time recipient of this. And so it should be celebrated. And again, I like it. I mean, I don't know what, if it's kind of up to the new defensive coordinator or kind of how they went about this, but I kind of like a little combination of let's get this going from the beginning. And also, hey, you know what, if we feel like there's a couple guys that might be in the rotation that haven't quite got there, we don't have to give out a certain number. Let's do what we feel is right.
All right. So I want to hear what the fine folks at home have to say. Overanalyze this with us because this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. The topic matters a lot. We're going to analyze it either way. We're going to overanalyze today and have a little bit of fun with it, but it's a very serious topic that matters a lot to me, and that's the black shirts, the tradition of it, and honoring that tradition going forward. When it comes to the number that's handed out, well, when it comes to, first and foremost, when are they handed out? I've always liked game week, going into the first game of the season. I've said the entire offseason, there is a ton of work that goes into it. Now, what happens on on the field on Saturdays. Do you know that 25% of our games are not on Saturdays this year? So what happens on the field, whatever the heck the day of the week that we are playing, because we got 2 Fridays, a Thursday game, so 25% of our games are not on Saturdays. What happens on the game field matters the most. But if you think the black shirt is earned, once you step on the field, man, you got to re-educate yourself on how you view things. Because what happens on that field, it's not predetermined like WWE, but it is determined way before you ever step foot on the field. It is determined with what you do in winter conditioning at 6 a.m. workouts. It is determined with what you do in spring ball and how much better you do or do not get. It is determined with those 110s with parachutes or those gassers or half gassers or whatever you're doing when it's 95 degrees and about 1,000,000% humidity out in the middle of the summer. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. That's part of the gig. You want to be a black shirt? This is part of the process. And then camp. The most difficult part of playing football. You got to be somewhat abnormal to play football. You got to be completely abnormal to play defense, Jake. And so for me, there are guys who earn the right to wear a black shirt going into the first game of the year because you have to recognize that what happens in the offseason sets up what happens in games. And I believe that recognizes it, and it honors the people who put in the work and earned it going into game one. So that's first. I like the idea of handing out black shirts to whoever has earned it. 10, cool. 11, cool. 12, is it a nickelback? Cool. You go beyond 12, I'm kind of like, okay. 8, cool. This year, 10. 10, cool. I'm cool with that. As far as when to hand them out, as far as the actual number, I kind of just addressed it. Whoever's earned it. So some folks look at it as, well, it's all the starters. I've never quite agreed with that. Because I did have a conversation with a former legendary black shirt probably 10 years ago, but the conversation always stuck with me. He goes, there were times when he played in the 90s where he felt there were some backups that actually deserved a black shirt more than some starters. Part of that is the work ethic, the attitude, the leadership, whether you were vocal or quiet, but like people will follow you because actions speak so loudly you can't hear anything you say. So do your actions match up to your words? However loud you are or not, what do your actions say? That's what people pay attention to. And sometimes there's a guy second string at a particular position because that position is loaded who doesn't start, and another guy who maybe isn't quite as accountable but starts. Maybe it's due to talent. Maybe it's due to that position group isn't as loaded. Sometimes a backup deserves it. Now, if you're going to give it to a guy who isn't a starter, he better really freaking deserve it. But to me, it's never been just the starters. I always felt starting was almost a prerequisite. But if a backup got it, like a guy who came in as a nickel back, I mean, you're going to be a nickel, especially some teams you play. You're going to be a nickel over 50% of some games. It always cracked me up in the league. We'd call base. All week base, and then nickel. Then in the game, we'd be in nickel like 75% of the time. So a nickel back, I get it. A guy who comes in, maybe gets a bunch of sacks out of nickel. I have a little bit of a harder time with that on the D-line, but I get it. But if you're not going to be a starter and you're going to get it, man, you better earn it a ton, whatever that is. But being a starter doesn't automatically get it because there's more that goes into it than just being a starter. What is your dedication? What is your leadership level? What do your actions say? What is your toughness level? What do you bring to the team that brings the team together? Sometimes you have guys who start who are phenomenal talents, even good football players, but they're a gigantic pain in the butt off the field. I'm not saying they can't get one. I'm just saying it better be worth it and it better make sense. So when it comes to when, I like going into game one. When it comes to how many, whoever's actually earned it. There's no predetermined number, in my opinion. Now, that being said, a black shirt can obviously be earned as the season goes along. I've noticed, this is a dude, it's not just me. Husker Nation has high expectations for this dude. I'm excited to see what he can do. Vincent Shavers is not on this list. I'm not trying to call the guy out or anything. Like, I expect this guy to be an all Big Ten type player and a great player by the end of this year and by the time he's done at Nebraska. But maybe he's the guy that earns it next week. Or maybe it's something to do with the hamstring. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to call him out. I expect him to be a phenomenal player for us. I just noticed he wasn't on the list. Okay? So you can be earned as the season goes along. I do think they can be lost. I saw twice while I played a guy lose the black shirt, once by choice, once not. One was a DB, played just awful. 2 straight games. Came into his locker the following practice after the second Saturday where he didn't play well. There was a red shirt in there, not a black shirt. Now he earned it back over the course of time. There was another D tackle who took it off his own back. Went to Jay Terry, the equipment manager, said, I have not earned this. And I didn't agree or disagree, probably agreed with him more so, but that wasn't my call. And the coaches didn't tell him to wear a red jersey in practice. He said, I'm not holding up the standard of a black shirt. And so he wore a red shirt, I want to say for about 2 weeks again. And then I remember he came in for the practice that following Tuesday or Monday, whatever the first day was that we practiced going into the next opponent, and there was just a black shirt in his locker, which I think was the coach's way of saying you've earned it back. So you can lose them, you can earn them. This isn't something that's incredibly volatile, though. Like you go out and you have a rough game, like you're not just going to lose it. To me, it's you have a rough game, you have rough games consistently, or you have bad attitude, or you have bad effort. Now we're in the conversation here. Also, if you're going to earn it, it's something that has to be sustained over time with consistency. The C word that I talk about all the time here, consistency. Sustained excellence over time. Now, sustained excellence is based on the barometer that you're using. Whatever that barometer is for John Butler and the defensive coaches down there, sustained excellence based on the barometer you're using over time. So that's kind of that's just my take. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I've nailed it. Doesn't mean everyone agrees with me. That's just my take. Those are my thoughts. I just think less is more when it comes to black shirts. They said they didn't want to water it down. They want to water down the black shirt tradition. That's what John Butler said in his press conference yesterday. I agreed with that. If there's a question whether you should have a black shirt, you shouldn't have it because there shouldn't be a gigantic question. If it's a gigantic question, you probably haven't earned it yet. Less is more. Then when you get them, this isn't like the college football playoff where we're going to have 28 teams in a playoff. You get 28 black shirts. No. We're going to actually make them mean something and maintaining that tradition going forward. Now, once you step out on the field, you want to play well. You want to represent well. It's the results of the play, but it's how you play. The attitude, the effort, the physicality, the veracity, the intensity, how you play matters as well. Reaction, thoughts, disagree. I was okay with Buschini getting a black shirt last fall. You were not so excited before we found out he got one. You were like, probably not a punter. But there's been punters who've gotten them in the past. They're technically part of the defense. Now, if you're going to be a punter and get one, you better be doing something. And I thought Buschini earned it last fall. But just in general, what are your thoughts, your reaction here, Jake?
Yeah, I was going to say, how quickly until Archie Wilson? Were you surprised Archie Wilson didn't have one? Probably still needs to.
If you're a punter, you're going to have to wait till games. I'm sorry. The game's got to be played if you're a punter.
Oh, because you do draw a line somewhere.
I do draw a line somewhere.
Okay. No preseason punter black shirts. That's fine. I still think that's a little bit silly. Obviously, that's a different unit. And to your point, whatever. They decide what to do with it. And that's the fun of this specific topic is it gives us so much to talk about. Generally kind of in the offseason waiting for this. And then when it kind of happens here. I got a lot of response on the text line, so we can get to that.
Yeah, what do we got?
Gus Mohawk says, I don't mind it. Like Jake said, it's a combination of both ways. I think they should really, they should hand a couple more the day of the game, really juice up the defense. What do you think about that idea?
But you won't wear it in the game. Like you don't wear the actual black shirt. Like you can wear something that says black shirt. You can wear a black T-shirt that says black shirt. But you can't wear the actual black shirt practice jersey in the game. I like the week of, or maybe it's not game one. They feel you've earned it, but maybe going into game two, you get to wear it all week of practice. There's something about wearing it all week of practice going into a game that always meant something to me.
Nick and McCook says it was different back in the day when we would just reload every year, not rebuild. Also was different back when they had the same 11 players usually staying on the field with less rotation.
That's a fair point. Nick and I sat here and talked on Friday, the depth chart. There could be, you can see Javin Wright on the field, Marcus Watson-Trent, you can see Vincent Shavers, you can see Van Papa, you can see Judy, then you can see McCullough, then you can see Cam Lenhart, all based on whether it's nickel, whether it's dime, whether it's base. We could see legit 3 to 4 guys running off the field on defense based on the different personnel groups they're using on defense, kind of like an offense. Defenses usually go like base, nickel, dime. Then you've got your big boys for your short yardage goal line. I have a feeling we're going to have way more packages than that. So maybe it creates more challenges when it comes to the black shirts as well. It's a fair point. With it used to be basically 11, maybe 12 guys if you had a nickel package back in the day.
Again, starter him at text line 402-464-5685. You want to chime in? Wild Bill says he's guessing Shavers didn't get one because he's hurt. And then Kamari off YouTube says, my first question was, why wasn't Van Poppel awarded a black shirt?
I wrote his name down as well. I had, again, I'm not calling anybody out, to be clear. Like, games have not been played yet. I can only talk about what's in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I wrote Van Poppel, I wrote Shavers, and I wrote Keona Davis, who's going to start for us. Rule, when I spoke to him, said Keona Davis is a starter for us. So again, just being a starter, obviously 10 versus 11, 11 guys are going to start the game regardless of what personnel package you're in. There's a little bit more that goes into it. I think it's a little bit surprising with Van Poppel. You've heard great things from offensive linemen who are rarely complimentary of defensive linemen. They're just jealous over there, Jake. But you've heard great things from the defensive coaches about him. He got a single-digit number. You kind of anticipate a lot of good things. So we'll just see how all that unfolds. Going into game one, I think they really erred towards less is more. And it wouldn't surprise me if as the season goes along, they hand out 1, 2, or more, or we'll just see how it goes. But those are some of the names that were left off. So these are the names of the guys that have them. So you mentioned 2 D linemen. So if we're running a 3-3-5, which I actually expect a ton of 4 down this year, you could say there's 1 lineman missing if you want to look at it like that, or 2, depending on how you want to look at it. All right, so you got Cam Lenhart, Elijah Judy. Then there's 3 I'm going to call them second level of the defenders, because you got Jack, you got linebacker, you've got all these different positions. Javin Wright, Dawson McCullough, Marquez Watson Trent. If you remember on the depth chart on Friday, it was Marquez Watson Trent or Vincent Shavers. But I think a lot of that still depends on the personnel package. I think that's why there was an or there. I expect both those guys to play a lot. So 3 second level defenders, and then 5 level 3 or DB type defenders. Zaire Wright, Marquise Buford Jr., Malcolm Hartzog, Deshaun Singleton, and Andrew Marshall. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Again, I like, obviously I think all those names earned it again, maybe a little bit, unfortunately, attention on those that didn't. And Van Poppel is one of those names that I think is just a rarity in college football today, and just a kind of a bit of a roller coaster on just certain things that he's done. Obviously, just redshirting last year and staying at Nebraska, you might not see that a whole lot more, in college football after already having played a year. And then kind of this offseason, it reminds me of a kind of story Jay Foreman told when he was earned a starting job, but was not on the black shirt poster. And that kind of rubbed him the wrong way. Didn't necessarily like that. Then he felt like he had to go out there and earn it. Same type of thing for Van Poppel here, where you're honored through your teammates as a single-digit number guy, but you don't get a black shirt and you're not a starter when the depth chart comes out. So, at least some things to reach up for Van Poppel and to continue to work toward and to be that dominant player that he wants to be. Like he said, I mean, he's got a goal to leave here as the all-time sack leader. So, obviously he's aim small, miss small, right? And so he's going to try to do that. And then to your point, the personnel packages and stuff, it's kind of interesting to look into the oars on the depth chart, which of course Dana Holgerson did a good job of kind of explaining the other day at the press conference as well. But then to kind of break that down when you look at the black shirt, because there are a few spots, like you said, already with Shavers being an oar on the depth chart, didn't necessarily get the black shirt. Marquise Watson Trent did. It's kind of similar thing up front with Williams Winieri. I think that surprised a lot of people when he was a co-starter on the depth chart with Cam Lenhart. Cam Lenhart gets a black shirt. He doesn't. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe that gives you a little bit more insight on maybe who is your true number one, if that's something you really care about. But I mean, if there's an or on the depth chart, they're both going to play plenty, and it can change based on the week. So I wouldn't look too much into it, but it will be interesting and does leave open. Like you said, it's very rare that you get a black shirt and lose it. Could happen.
You'd have to be doing some really not great things.
Right. But there's like obviously space for Keona Davis, Shaver, some of these guys to get it. So you could end up with 14, throw a punter in there, maybe 15 black shirts by the end of the year.
Now you're getting crazy. As far as the poster, so you go back through the years, there's not always 11 guys in the poster. The guys that are in the poster are the guys they knew were going to be black shirts in the summer. Like a lot of times that poster is taken in June.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of June during summer work. Like when You have your spring game. You finish finals. You have a break. You come back usually the start of June, and that's usually when the poster is taken. And it's like the guys they know are going to be black shirts. So I don't know that it's meant to be it's obviously not meant to be insult. They don't want to insult anybody that's playing for them. I think it's just other guys earned it as the off season and fall camp went along, and that's okay. It's always better to be on the poster because everyone wants to be on the freaking poster. I had someone give me a bunch of posters, actually sent it to me in the mail. One of my family members was like, hey, I got all these posters from when you played. And it was kind of cool. I opened them up. Some of them were my seniors, all the seniors from my senior year. And I'm like explaining like, hey, Dane Todd's a doctor in town now. You know, let's see, there was Stuart Bradley was on there. You had a bunch of guys from my old roommate, Andy Cademy, who I've seen once in 17 years. And I'm showing my kids like, hey, this is my college roommate. He knows all sorts of things about me. Don't talk to him very long. And, you know, and then the black shirt poster from my senior year. And I was like, hey, and then my junior, like, hey, this guy was drafted and this guy was drafted. This guy was drafted. This guy was drafted. You know, it was kind of cool. You can go back and look on those things. But they're only going to put guys on there that they know are going to be black shirts come the beginning of June. It's interesting because you look, by the way, 15 black shirts. No, bad, Jake. Bad.
Well, I'd say
bad.
You got 10 now.
Bad.
Keona, Shavers, Waneri, and Popple would be 14.
Bad, Jake. Bad, Jake.
Want to give it out of the punter?
Bad, Jake. No.
No.
You know what? If we're going out and we're giving up an average of like 7 points a game and we're just dominating, then you can say bad Adam and they can start handing out more black shirts at that point. You want to talk about wait and see. I got to see that, okay? I'm just saying. So I made a list here. Well, you go back to Williams Waneri. He's the guy who Matt Rule said is a significantly improved player from spring ball, which is hence the or on the depth chart last week. And he's a guy that Rule talked about after spring, after you beat up your body for an entire spring, ran a 4.640. As what, a 20-year-old? 265 pounds? That's only going to get better. Or he's only going to get heavier and maintain the speed. I guarantee Corey Campbell's not going to let him get slower. That's pretty impressive. So it's exciting to see they start to see him in that light because a guy with that kind of talent, you look for ways to get a guy like that on the field. He's got to earn it, but coaches are going to err towards getting a guy like that on the field if they can. Cam Lenhart, all right, is a black shirt, and remember, he's only one vote away from getting a single-digit number. So that's got to mean something. I wrote down the names of the guys who are single-digit numbers and black shirts because this really bad, pun intended, doubly means something. In my opinion, Deshaun Singleton, Malcolm Hartzog, and Marquise Buford Jr. That says a lot about those guys. Zaire Wright as well. He got a black shirt, right? Let me look at the list.
Yeah, he did.
So 4 guys. Zaire's also a captain. So think about that. Think about the fact that he is also a captain. So if you're like a single-digit earner and a captain, that matters. Sorry, offensive guys, you cannot wear black shirts. You are not good enough. If you're a single-digit earner and a black shirt, if you're a black shirt and a captain, the trifecta, single-digit earner, black shirt, captain. That says a lot. Who are the other 2 defensive captains again? Remind me real quick.
So yeah, I guess Zaire Wright, Deshaun Singleton would and Marquise Buford would all be in that category.
There you go.
Yeah.
I am uber excited.
Then add for Deshaun Singleton that he went to Media Day and Buford.
There you go. Media Day matters too. Coaches hand select people for a reason. That matters. That stuff matters. That's exciting. All right, when we come back. Legendary black shirt Jerry Murtaugh will join us. Is there anything off the text line real quick before we do go to break?
There is Bill and Bennett says he agrees with me. A punter should never get a black shirt. So, there's going to be people on both sides there. But that's about it right now.
Are you cherry picking the comments where people just agree with you?
Yeah, once in a while. I make myself sound smart.
All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
If the power is out, keep your fridge and freezer closed. Perishable food lasts 4 hours in the fridge, and frozen food lasts up to 2 days if it stays below 40 degrees. See more tips at les.com/safety.
Play ball!
Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their big fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, the day after black shirts were handed out, it only feels apropos to bring on a legendary black shirt. The man was a two-time All-American, multi-time national champion, Big 8 player of the year, Playboy Magazine and Football News preseason All-America squads as well, and the second all-time leading tackler in Nebraska football history, Mr. Jerry Murtaugh. How you doing, my friend?
Hello.
How you doing, Jerry?
Hey, I'm standing here on the third hole, smoking a cigar, and I'll have a nice Glenlivet Scotch in about an hour.
That's the Jerry I know. Hey, man, so you used to have a radio show. Remind me, what station was that on?
What was it?
Well, I don't know. I asked you.
590.
Okay.
AM 590.
I couldn't.
Yep.
How long did you have that
Yep.
show?
Oh, 10, 12 years.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you up
Way
to nowadays?
Too long.
What are you up to nowadays?
Still, I started a foundation called the Nebraska Greats Foundation. What we do is help former collegiate athletes in the state of Nebraska. If they have medical or emergency needs, you come to us. There's 16 four-year colleges in the state. Has to be a four-year school, and you have to have lettered in a sport, man or woman. You don't have to have your degree, but lettered in a sport, medical or emergency needs. That's what I do.
You are heavily involved in that. That is true. And you've helped a lot of athletes, a lot of people with medical needs and financial hardships over the years. If people want to, real quick, if people want to help out or learn more, how do they do that? Where do they do that at?
You just go to nebraskagreats.org. That's it. Simple. We need all the help we can get, but I need recipients. Anybody out there know of a former athlete that is in need, they have to get a hold of us. Because I beat the bushes looking for former athletes that need help.
Just making it aware. The people are aware of this as an option, because I know there's people out there who definitely need the help, could use the help. So just making them aware that it's a possibility is a big thing. Hey, man, I've always said this. You have a great voice and face for radio. The fact is, you should still be on radio somewhere.
I like the face.
Oh, you like that? You got that? Okay.
Yeah. I've never been on TV. I wonder why.
You know what that's for? You probably don't even remember this. At a tailgate about 5 years ago, my dad really wanted to meet you, and you were at the tailgate, so I brought my parents over. And then I asked you something about coming on one of my shows. You looked at me and you said, maybe, but I only come on shows that people listen to. And so that's a receipt from 5 years ago. You making a jab at me in front of my parents, man. I owed you that one.
Well, you punk kids, we can make fun of you. That's our job.
Yeah, I like it.
Pick on the youth.
I like it.
There you go.
So 10 black shirts were handed out. Hey, you're not allowed to laugh at that, Jake. All right. 10 black shirts were handed out yesterday. What are you kind of looking forward to seeing from the defense? What do you hope to see from John Butler's defense this year?
Aggressiveness, get to the ball. I mean, defense, it's pretty simple for the defensive line and linebackers. My former coach, Milton, we go into meetings. This is the gospel truth. once in a while, he'll say, Murtaugh, read this in front of the group. And I go, what? So I go up, I'm reading this. All it said was, get to the damn ball. Meeting's over.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, very simple on defense. You know, I know you have schemes and all that, but yeah, you got to get to the ball.
What allowed you guys, because again, you're a part of 2 different national championship teams. And man, that 70 defense was good. That 71 defense was stifling. If you go back and you look and you compare stats, statistically speaking, just pure stats. Obviously, there were other great defenses over the years. No disrespect to any other defense. Statistically speaking, the 2 best statistical defenses in Nebraska football history are 71 and 09. What made you guys such a good defense?
Well, I left the first national championship, and there were only, let's see, on defense, 1, 2, 3 of us that were seniors. 3. And those young kids that played, I mean, studs, every darn one of them. And same way on offense. We were young, but they were nasty. And then the 71 team, of course, they had everything. The coach Devaney built it up, and they were great.
Talk to me about what it was like to play for a guy like Bob Devaney.
I wish you hadn't answered that or asked that question.
I know you guys had a fun relationship, so I asked that for a reason.
Oh, boy. The only time we had conversations was in his office, and he's yelling at me, and I'm yelling at him for 4 straight years. And we didn't have a relationship. And the only reason he kept me, because I could get to the ball. Voila. So that's all I can say about Coach. He was a great coach. He just couldn't coach me because I wouldn't listen. So that's the problem. Yeah.
So what enabled him? Because Matt Rule's trying to build Nebraska football back up. And I'm not saying he's got to do it or not do what Bob Devaney did. He's going to do his thing his own way. But what enabled Devaney to build Nebraska the way he did when he was the head coach here?
The one time he talked to me at his retirement party, I didn't go. Mrs. Devaney called me and said, if you don't go, I'm driving down to Omaha to get you. So I went. And I go on this place. There's 1,000 people. I'm at one end. Devaney was at the other. Mrs. Devaney comes over, grabs me by the neck, says, come on. I go over there. He's by himself. I sit there. He sits there. We look straight ahead. We don't say a word. About 4 minutes, he goes, Murtaugh, you want a beer? I go, yeah. That was it. The beer comes. Then, before he left, we hadn't said a word. He looked at me first time and says, you know, everybody thinks I'm a great coach, but I'll tell you what, I wasn't a great coach, but I hired the 8 greatest assistants in the country. And I always remembered that. Great assistants. Of course, recruiting, they were winning. So recruiting was a lot easier. You got to get football players that want to win, that go to a school that's a winner. That was Nebraska. So he did a great job.
So speaking of hiring great assistant coaches, I'm so excited about our coordinators this year. I'm very curious to see how John Butler operates the defense with all the personnel packages he's going to have. Dana, I genuinely consider him to be one of the top 3 best coordinators in the country. And then you got Mike Eckler, whose special teams are just top 25 this, top 25 that, top 25 everything at Tennessee, and number one in a lot of categories. What kind of an impact can those three coordinators help make, first-year coordinators, help make this year when it comes to Nebraska football winning more games?
Well, they've proven themselves, but I don't care how good you are as a coach. If you don't have the players, it doesn't mean anything. So I'm looking at it as, let's wait and see. Does he have the players to win? That to me is very simple. Get the players, recruiting, you do all this stuff. They're probably great recruiters. It'll take them a year or two, and let's see what we got.
All right, Jerry, last question for you. Well, it's a two-parter. So last question, two parts, part one. What would you consider a successful season for Nebraska this year? And part two, what do you think their final record will be?
I've looked at their schedule. I think they have a very, very favorable schedule. If they don't win minimum of 9 games, or it could be 11, I'm not happy.
All right.
Yep.
So they're in the college football playoff conversation in your eyes. They're going to be in that conversation at the end of the year.
I said I'm hoping.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say they're going to.
Well, what's your prediction then? Official prediction.
The problem is I don't know how these young kids are going to play. There's so many new ones on defense and offense. So I'm hoping 9.
All right. I predicted 9-3. I predicted 9-3.
Yep.
I can live with that.
Sounds good to me. I can live with that and build on it.
Yep. Hey, Jerry, I really appreciate your time. You got any tailgates for any of the games this year? Let me know. I'd love to meet up with you again.
Well, I will, but you bring the scotch.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
Thank you, young man.
All right. Thank you. All right. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back.
Nebraska football opens their season on Thursday, August 28th in Kansas City, and you can be a part of the best pregame tailgate party with Blur Events, live from Kauffman Stadium, home of the Royals. Doors open 4 hours before kickoff with a live DJ promoting interactive competitions and giveaways, tailgate games like cornhole, flip cup, and beer pong, access to ballpark concessions, and available air conditioning. Book your tickets today at blurevents.com/Kansas City and hang with 93.7 The Ticket on the scene prior to Nebraska versus Cincinnati on August 28th.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather.
Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds, and afternoon high around 79. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and calm winds, below around 58. And tomorrow, with slight chance of showers throughout the day. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with a light breeze and a high near 78. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through August at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 1.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.2% interest fixed for up to another 36 months. When planning for this year's harvest, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your Landmark Implement today and check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Sometimes it's hard to know if substance use is becoming a problem, especially when it becomes part of daily life or social routines. Take the free assessment, Is Your Substance Use Harmful?, at myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can understand your risk. You can take the assessment anonymously. In just minutes, you'll get practical, non-judgmental guidance and resources to support your health and well-being. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Old School with Foreman and Orman.
Any tips for a dad who just volunteered to be a YMCA flag football coach less than a week before the season started because no one else had volunteered to coach the fifth graders up to that point?
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. Jake, real quick, is there anything off the text line?
Just somebody shouting out. Brill and Brennan says, priceless interview with Jerry Murta. Adam, I do miss his show.
Dude, it was a good show. He did a great job. I genuinely think he should be on air somewhere. He just does a great job. And he has a phenomenal voice and face for radio. I'm just saying it. Dude, that hurt me when he said that in front of my dad 5 years ago. Like, it stuck with me, man. I waited 5 years to give him that receipt. Nah, I truly respect, and dare I say admire Jerry and all that he's accomplished. All right. Let's see here. couple of guys. John Bullock made the 53-man roster in the NFL.
How about that?
Guy was a walk-on wide receiver. Now he's an NFL linebacker.
Remember when Matt Rule, before he even made an impact at Nebraska at all, Matt Rule said this guy's an NFL player.
That's awesome. That's awesome. If it's non-quarterback related, I pay attention. All right.
Hey there.
Let's see here. Tight end Thomas Fedoni. I'm just going to read the tweet. Matt Garofalo. All right. With Greg Dulcich, let go. 7th round tight end Thomas Fedoni. Again, this is his tweet, not my words. He of the self-tattooing skills has inked himself onto the Giants' 53-man roster, sources say. Fedoni caught 8 of 9 targets for 64 yards in the preseason and showed strong blocking ability as well. When you hear something like that, what's your initial reaction, Jake?
Well, it's awesome. Obviously, we kind of looked into, he got drafted, first tight end drafted since Tracy Wistrom. So that's a long way. So you're hoping he's going to make it. He scored a touchdown the other day in one of his preseason games. All the camp reports were good. So, I thought that he would come through. So it's awesome to see that. Interested to see how more tatted he gets. I know how that goes, but also I'm just I think the John Bullock angle is certainly interesting too, though, because not that it changes anything. Everything's the same as what they're replacing and moving forward with. But I think for those 2 years, we always said Ty and Nash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I think you have to also give John Bullock a lot of credit. I mean, he already did, but now just realize you had not only those two, but John Bullock up the middle as well on that second level NFL players or close to it. I haven't checked up on Nash, I guess, but with Ty and John Bullock in there, so good to see a couple guys fight to make teams. A couple other guys let go, and hopefully their journeys continue and they can pick themselves up and try to get going. But it's always a great day to see. The cut day is obviously a frustrating day for a lot of people, but great to see some of these stories.
I completely agree. I have an interesting question that was proposed to me, and I want to throw it out to the fine folks at home. If you are Matt Rule and you win the coin toss for Cincinnati, do you take the ball to start or defer to the second half? I am a guy that has always believed you take the ball to start the second half. You give yourself that extra possession in the second half. But if the strongest unit of your team is most likely the offense, and it's the start of a season, and you need to get, I'm not saying this team isn't tough, but there's some question marks heading into this season, a lot of bravado, a lot of positive words, but you need to have a strong start. Because if you don't win the game and start strong and you're kind of filling out your team, it's a long way down right now, if that makes sense, from the Kool-Aid perch that we sit upon at this moment in time. Would you defer to the second half? I want to know. Fine folks at home. What's that number, Jake? Text in.
402-464-5685.
I've always been a defer guy. Saban's a defer guy. Belichick's a defer guy. They clearly got it from me. I'm a defer guy. In this case, I would take the ball. You need to start strong. You need to start fast. You spent a lot of money, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You got Dylan. You got all these things. I think the offense sets a really good tone potentially. And this is one of the rare times where I would say take the ball. What do you say, Jake? And what's the text line say?
I would actually disagree. I'm in the same category as you and Belichick, which good company to keep. As far as getting the ball in the
take
second
that,
half.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think specifically though, I think that the way that you're kind of talking about it is maybe more like emotions and trying to get off to a good start. I get all that. But I think this is specifically week one is exactly when I would more often than not, like almost, I don't see a situation where I wouldn't take the ball in the second half because you're going to have a little bit more sloppiness. We saw it in the Iowa State-Kansas State game. Iowa State had 2 lost fumbles all year last year. They had 2 before halftime. So, it's especially a mistake-prone type of week, kind of ironing out some details. I wouldn't necessarily, so not necessarily that would happen on the first offensive drive, but it would be a specific week where I'm trying to put myself in place to get the best start to the second half.
Interesting thought. You almost swayed me, but we keep hearing this word efficient. Offense was efficient in the scrimmage. Offense is efficient. I want the unit I trust to be more efficient on the field first to start the game and get the ball going the right direction. All right, what's the text line say? Pick out the ones where they only agree with you
that's
again.
Right, yeah. Derek in a car says always defer. Old Dad says take the ball in the second half. 6254 says defer, let him eat. Feels like he's pretty confident in the defense. Neil says first game always take the ball in the second half to get the extra possession after you got a chance to see the other team. 6445 says Nebraska must win by 2 scores or minimum of 10 points to be pleased. So I don't know, just kind of throwing that out there.
Is that the Murtaugh question I asked him probably? Maybe?
Oh yeah, perhaps.
Maybe. Go ahead.
2690 says defer since the defense has more of a question mark. So this would be a great opportunity to quiet the noise, shut them down, and let the offense hit the gas. But there's a response here. 2188 says take the ball, take the pressure off the new defense.
That's kind of part of my thought process is you want to start strong. I'll tell you right now, the sooner you go into the game, the more amped up you are. Even if you aren't in the game, the fact that the game is going on and you can kind of watch, you get a little bit of rhythm of the flow of the game. It always helped me out. I was always so amped up to start. I always felt like I played better if the defense was out there second. That was just me. And with just younger players, maybe a little bit more time to settle in. There's also the theory where throw them out there, get them out there, get it out of the way and get them going. So you can go either way with this theory if you'd like. I'm always a defer guy. Just something in me is like, you need positivity to start this game. We don't know much about this team until we learn, hey, are they going to bounce back after a rough game like they did at Ohio State versus Indiana? Are you going to bounce back after a rough game like year one under Matt Rule, like you did on the road on a short week at Illinois after a tough Michigan game? I expect that to be this team. I don't know why it would be different. Matt Rule came out and also said that last year's team was whiny. He said that on his radio show. He said it multiple places. The last year's team was whiny. So you got to learn about this team, and you only learn in games. Man, I'm never a take the ball guy. Ever. I would take the ball in this particular scenario, in this situation. I just think this game is that important, that big of a deal. You need to put your best unit out there first. Just my thoughts. I could be wrong. Any final thoughts before we hit the break, Jake?
No, I don't see anything off the text line, and yes, you're wrong, Adam. No, I mean, again, I think there are times where you can do it. Like you said, you want to kind of punch first. Obviously, ideally, you score a touchdown, maybe feel like you're getting ahead of and all that. But again, I'm still a little bit worried about kind of ironing out those kinks. Now, you do script the first, 40 plays or whatever it might be. So if you're confident enough that you've X and O's yourself in a way that feels like it's especially you got an advantage at some point, but especially now, you don't know a lot. You don't have a whole lot of scouting on what this Cincinnati team looks like compared to last year. They're going to be trying out some new things too. So it's going to be an interesting time. Either way, it's like one of those things. I always kind of think about these conversations when kickoff starts, and then they might just lose the toss, and then
it doesn't matter.
So, yeah.
Well, that was fun to debate and a waste of time. I did do it during a short segment, though.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's a good thought.
Okay. So I was going to throw this out there, and immediately my mind went to the Saints and Colts after halftime onside kick. Sean Payton, they get the ball. They end up recovering the onside kick in the Super Bowl, beat the Colts and Peyton Manning to win the Super Bowl. I was going to say, if you're kicking off, do you try an onside kick right out the gate? And then immediately the Northwestern game popped into my head. So I take the question back before I ever put it out there, because I know what the response to that would be. So here's what we're going to do. Dana Holgorsen, Matt Rule, John Butler press conferences. There's nothing to talk about. What are we going to talk about? Plus a whole bunch of players, reaction to Dana Holgorsen's press conference. What does Matt Rule have to say? Update on John Butler's defense. Hour 2 is loaded. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
When only the best will do. Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Play ball! Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
If the power is out, keep your fridge and freezer closed. Perishable food lasts 4 hours in the fridge, and frozen food lasts up to 2 days if it stays below 40 degrees. See more tips at les.com/safety.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to hour 2, numero dos of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Were there any other responses real quick before we dive into the topics that we are planning on diving into in hour 2 as to whether we should take the ball, onside kick, or anything else?
Him and Beats actually did say defer and pull a frosty onside kick.
Wow.
0778 says take the ball, punt on first down, pin them deep, establish dominance.
Hey, I like the... So hold on. What? Take the ball and plan to punt? At first, all I heard was establish dominance, and then I realized what the rest of that was. I was like, wait, huh?
He must be particularly happy for Archie Wilson. I want to see Archie Wilson out there.
This man is a fan of Mike Eckler and Archie Wilson. Let me tell you what. All right. That seems to be everything on that front. So let's dive into update on John Butler's defense. Let's dive into reacting to what Dana Holgorsen had to say. Most likely Matt Rule, as well as a whole bunch of players that spoke yesterday. All right. In addition to some of these other folks we're going to chat about here. Real quick, though, hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show. It's the noon hour. And you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. It's lunchtime. The lunch hour of the Adam Carriker Show here on The Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue with 2 locations. All right, 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, just off Highway 2 by Lowe's. By the way, when are we going to set up our next on location? We need to get that going. Last time was great. Been too long ago. We will be on location at Mulberry South location here in the near future. All right, Dana Holgorsen. His press conference yesterday says we are at the point in camp, practicing in camp, that we can keep practicing if we want to, but we won't figure things out until we actually play. Now, you can only practice, obviously, is a huge indicator of what's going to happen in a game, but you don't really know. And then you have guys who look great in practice, and then they disappear in a game. And I hate it. Like, I heard this about Cedric Benson. I heard this about a couple other guys. They always tend to be running backs, by the way. Oh, he wasn't a great practice player, but in the game, they would turn it on. That's few and far between. I wouldn't rely on that. Why? It did. It tended to always be running backs for whatever reason. But you can only learn so much. At the end of the day, you got to go where the quote-unquote football bullets are real. And that's where you really learn what a guy is going to do. Now, he did say 21 days of great football. They've covered every situation known to man. He talked about how Matt Rule pretty much ran this like an NFL-style camp, situation after situation after situation. He says the guys are ready. He says the players did a great job of making every day important. So Matt Rule has this thing, you probably heard of it, get 1% better every day. And I love that. I hadn't heard of it before Matt Rule said it. Heard of a million mantras. When he said that, I love it for multiple reasons. Number one, it's very doable. It's incredibly doable to get 1% better at something every day. And then all of a sudden you're 2% better and 3% better. And it just adds up over time. Because if you do that compared to someone who takes the day off, and then first of all, if you take one day off, you're much more likely to take the next hard day off. And then you're more likely to take the next hard day off. And pretty soon, that person who has just stacked days, 1% after 1% after 1%, they're like 20% better. The other person's 12. And then all of a sudden, this person is 30% better. The other person's 18. And the gap widens. Now, what people always say to me is, Adam, you can't go over 100%. Well, how do you know what your 100% is? Why do some people with all this talent never live up to it? Why do some people, like I'm going to bring up Brandon Rigoni. This dude was a walk-on from Lincoln. I don't know his height. I'm just going to guess 5'7", 180 pounds. And he was the most feared guy on the field when it came to Oklahoma drill. And back in the day when you could do wedges on kickoff return and he was the wedge buster, nobody wanted to be in the wedge that he was busting and running down the field and blowing up on kickoff. It was a captain. We had 3 captains my senior year, myself, Zach Taylor, Brandon Rigoni. How does a guy, when you look at him, just appearances, he'll never make it, go from that to being the most feared guy on the field, especially in certain situations, and then a team captain? Nobody knows what your 100% is, and don't let anybody ever cap you. Just keep stacking days. I love that. So that's what he talks about. They've made every day count. You don't waste days. I'm very excited about Thursday. Says Cincy is going to be a quality team. We are going to have to show up and play well. Do you feel like people are overlooking Cincy a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. I think so. I think generally through the offseason, we've considered this a W.
It should be a W.
Yeah.
We should be more than a 6.5 point favorite. Has the line moved?
Isn't that overlooking Cincinnati a little bit?
No. What I'm saying is this is what it should be. We got to go do it, though. Like, we should be able to look at Cincinnati in football. Okay, in basketball, they might look at us and say the word W for them. Hopefully that changes one day. We should be able to look at them in football. I mean, they weren't even a Power 4 team until 3 years ago, and they have a losing record as a Power 4 team. We should be able to look at them and say we should beat them. That's just called belief, confidence, etc. Now, overlooking them is not taking them seriously and saying, we're just going to show up and do whatever we want. That I'm not doing. I almost wonder if I put too much emphasis on this game because my fear is if we lose, the reaction. You know what I mean? That's where I go with it. Any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, no. Again, I would advise not to overlook Cincinnati. You look at Nebraska's roster. Of course, we got all this promise and hopes. They've got a few guys. I mean, Brendan Sorsby, more proven quarterback at this point. If you don't want to say better, whatever, treading lightly around people's feelings to say that at this point might not be long term, right? Dylan's got all the upside in the world, but at this point might have the advantage there. Dante Corleone probably going to be the best player on the field. They've got a tight end that's they might have the top 3 players on the field, and so they beat Arizona State last year. I mean, so there's plenty of reasons not to overlook Cincinnati. Should Nebraska win? Should they be favored? Yes, but this is closer to a 50-50 game than I think people are looking at it that way.
If you are in Vegas and your job depends on getting the spread as accurately as possible, like you're going to make or lose money based on how accurate your spread is, what would your spread for Nebraska-Cincinnati be?
It's tough because I also factor in the heartache of losing all these openers, and that's not all on Matt Rule in that. So, trying to take the bias out, I think it's at 6.5. I'd probably go closer to maybe 4, 3, 4.5.
You would lessen it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think this is a toss-up game.
Wow. Toss-up. All right. I want to hear from the fine folks at home. Or if you're driving around or wherever you're listening. Is this a toss-up game to you? What would your spread be? I guess who would you have? Would you have Nebraska favored at this point? Are we now a touchdown underdog in your mind? Have you flipped the script on us, Jake?
Hopefully not that much. I still feel like I'm being honest. I favor Nebraska. I do think they're going to win. But it would not shock me in the slightest if Cincinnati pulled out a close one.
You got me questioning if we're going to win 3 games this year now. You have turned my world upside down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who would you have favored and what would your spread be? If it was me, I'm genuinely surprised it's not a little bit more. This is not a gimme game. Game 1, unpredictable, a lot of new, both sides. You never know what you're going to get. Cincinnati could come out and be absolutely awful. They could come out and be a team that challenges in the Big 12. We don't know. Arizona State last year picked to finish dead last, won the conference, and was 1 4th and 20 stop pass away, if they could have batted down Quinn Ewers' pass, from being in the final 4 teams in the nation. So you don't know what's going to happen. I would have genuinely put Nebraska about 8.5. That's what I would have put us at if I was a Vegas odds maker. All right. Holgerson again says the older guys inside are excited about the challenge. All right, they're going to face. Has never been a position where you could put 3 oars in a tackle. So talked a lot about how fortunate they are. And when I spoke with Rule, he said they have 8 guys they feel they can start on the offensive line. Holgerson said he feels fortunate they have so many guys that can start a tackle. That's great. But do you have a distinct 2? We know who the 3 are inside. The other day I was saying a distinct 5. Well, we got a distinct 3. Do you have a distinct 2 at tackle? Our offensive tackle play in recent years has not been as consistent. So the guys coming back, hopefully they're much improved. Keep getting better. Keep grinding, get better, rooting for you. But outside of them being exponentially better, they're right in this race. All right, guys coming back from injury that I'm rooting for, but do you have a distinct 2? Or is it muddied because nobody's separated yet and stood out and taken the bull by the horns? Does that make sense? Like, how do you feel about this tackle situation?
Well, it's interesting because I don't feel great about it. I think if rotating, I feel better about rotating interior than the outerior of the offensive line. It was good to hear Holgerson maybe feel a little bit better again because you want to know about the situation. I'm just on the outside looking at a depth chart that says Ord next to it. It's making me feel bad. Hear Holgerson say, you've never been in a situation where you have, he feels so good about, the tackle rotation and depth that they have. Makes you feel good. Again, Holgerson does a lot for me just in general as far as feeling good about this team because he's a long time, seen a lot of coach, been successful before, seen a lot of football. So when he kind of compares things to his other teams or saying, this is some of the best tackle depth that I've had, that makes me feel a lot better about it. That being said, I do think it is one of those situations where at some point you'd like somebody to show themselves as the better surefire tackle spot. This is one of the most important spots on the field. So hopefully it gets ironed out soon. And that was another thing that he said is we got a few more days of practice. They released that depth chart. There's still some ways to go. And we know, like they said, the game matters more than anything. So we'll see it out there when they're not playing against their own guys that they kind of have scouted and wrapped and all, and prepared for. Still, so it makes me feel a little bit nervous better after yesterday's press conference.
I feel like Holgerson's a pretty straight shooter, too. That's just his personality. All right, says the decision on who goes out at tackle to start will be on Coach Raiola, also the rotation throughout the game. They are very settled with the inside 3 on the O-line. He was asked something along the lines of, so when you say rotation, does that mean you will see multiple guys? Dana responded back with, that's kind of what or means. I love that. He knows what he is going to get out of Dane Key, Ja'Cory Barney, and Isaiah Hunter, and Janiran Bonner. Those seem to be the 4 that have separated, especially when Bonner got the single-digit number, and they're talking about the plays he's going to make in games with his physicality. So that's good. Also, Quinn Clark, freshman, 6'5", 210. Keep your eye on him as the year unfolds. Cortez Mills, one of the most highly touted wide receivers in the country. Keep your eye on him as the year unfolds, as he develops. All right. The guys they brought in look exactly like they did on tape. They are exactly what we thought we were going to get, talking about recruits, but probably mostly transfer portal guys that are now on the team. It's our offense now. Dana knows it inside and out. We'll call plays from the sideline. So my reaction to Holgerson's press conference, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of question marks from quarterback, running back, wide receiver positions. Didn't really address tight ends a bunch. I don't think there's a whole lot of question marks there. What are you going to do with Harburg? What are you going to do with certain guys? But it seems to be the position to watch is the rotation at the tackle spot. And not only who starts, but also as the game goes along, who plays well, who earns their trust when it matters the most, and who ends up playing the most. And who, I will tell you right now, who starts is not as important as who's playing the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. That will tell you more than anything. Who starts matters. Who plays the most the first 3 quarters. Who they have in the game with 10 minutes to go, barring us blowing them out, then it doesn't mean as much. If the game is within 1 score with 10 minutes to go, that's when you look at who's on the offensive tackle spot for Nebraska, right and left tackle. And that's my reaction. Those are kind of my thoughts. All right, let me see. There's some other things as well. Henry Latufsky on being named a team captain. He says the highest honor he has ever been awarded. Says he is, and I quote, so ready, end quote. Competition breeds improvement, he says. There's lots of competition, especially on the line and at certain spots. So that's awesome. He can barely tell Here you go, Jake. When one guy is at tackle versus another. Does that make you feel better?
I think so. Yeah.
Your voice went higher.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Take that for whatever it means. It actually does make me feel better. Okay. And we'll see who steps up. All right, Zaire Wright. Very honored to be named a team captain. Says the defense focusing on swarming to the ball. Jerry Murtaugh's right. Offensive playbooks usually are about 40 to 50% thicker than defensive playbooks because defense is so much about reaction, getting to the ball, and physicality and veracity more so than it is on offense. The offense knows where they're going. Defensively, we're reacting, and then you got to fly, and then you got to be physical when you get to the ball. It says the defense, all right, sorry, I already read that, very confident in their ability to play man to man. They put a lot of work into working on man coverage. Marquise Buford Jr., single-digit earner, team captain, black shirt earner. Says he loves Coach Butler, couldn't ask for a better coach, extremely confident in their ability on defense right now. Says the team is night and day compared to the team he went to Ireland with. That's going back a ways. It's an 11-man game. They all have to work together as a team and a unit. All right, Dane Key says it's an honor to be named a team captain. Week 1 is always the hardest, especially now with transfer players. A lot of truth in that. Says Dylan is one of the smartest quarterbacks he has ever played with. We've heard that multiple times this offseason. Can't help but like that a lot. Rule brought in guys from the national championship teams and Coach Osborne and had them talk to them a couple of times during camp. Says it's the tightest football team he has ever been a part of. So there's more. We'll get to Butler, Harburg, Rule. There's other guys as well that we'll react to. Matt Rule, when he said that last year's team was whiny, the statement that precursored, if that's a word, it is now because I said it, precursored that was, he goes, I truly enjoy this team. He said, I enjoy being around this team. I get the feeling like it wasn't always enjoyable a season ago, hence when you call it whiny. But he is, over the course of multiple months, whether it was early on in spring, the end of spring, summer, or now fall camp, towards the end of fall camp, he is flat out said multiple times, I enjoy being around this team. And going all back to when he said, this is the team I waited for. And then that was kind of the clip. People left out physicality-wise. Okay. Do you remember that like 3-4 months ago? He said, this is the team I've been waiting for. And people stopped with the clip there when really it was, he was talking about the physicality.
Yeah.
And guys want, no, we're going to go to the ground, coach. No, we want another rep. No, coach, let's, if this is a thud drill, let's make it a full speed to the tackle, to the ground drill. Like, I think that's what he's enjoying. And I think that's what he's talking about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Nebraska football opens their season on Thursday, August 28th in Kansas City, and you can be a part of the best pregame tailgate party with Blur Events, live from Kauffman Stadium, home of the Royals. Doors open 4 hours before kickoff with a live DJ promoting interactive competitions and giveaways, tailgate games like cornhole, flip cup, and beer pong, access to ballpark concessions, and available air conditioning. Book your tickets today at blurevents.com/Kansas City and hang with 93.7 The Ticket on the scene prior to Nebraska versus Cincinnati on August 28th.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
When only the best will do. Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the Adam Carriker Show. Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work in a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business, Suizo Construction. Again, that's SCHWISOW.com. All right. Let's give a little bit of an update here on John Butler's defense. He's at the press conference. He seemed more open, less guarded than previous press conferences. And so I think that's a good thing. Like, you got to be who you are. You got to stay true to yourself. If you're Rex Ryan, Be Rex Ryan. If you're John Butler, be John Butler. You got to be who you are. But at the same time, he always seemed overly guarded. And so the fact that he seems to be opening up a little bit, I do like that. All right. So it says Cincinnati's quarterback is tough and will fight for extra yards. Sorsby, you made a good point. The ceiling for Raiola is higher, with all due respect to Sorsby. He's also more proven at this point. This is a dude who will take off and run. This is a dude who can make plays. This is the dude, when you watch him play, probably not like a first, second round pick, but you watch him, you're like, that's a football player. That's a guy who makes the throw he needs to make. That's a guy who will take off and run for 5-6 yards. That's a guy who just makes plays. He's just a football player. I don't know how else to describe him. So real quick, you were talking about some of the other guys on Cincinnati's team that maybe concern you a little bit, and you thought they might have the 3 best players on the field. We're talking about John Butler's defense. We're going to face these guys. So expand on that a little bit for us there, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Sorsby is just like, I mean, he's been pretty efficient or pretty much what you would expect out of him starting in Indiana and Cincinnati. I should say is that his numbers were close to the same. His quarterback rating in Indiana was 130.4. At Cincinnati last year was 136.4. At Indiana had 15 touchdowns, 5 picks. At Cincinnati had 18 and 7. Of course, we know, like I said, he can run a little bit too. Indiana, 286 yards rushing on 4 touchdowns. At Cincinnati, 447 yards and 9 touchdowns. all that to say is that he's pretty, consistent. You kind of know what you're going to get him, which is a above average quarterback play. Mm-hmm. So I think that's at least, I'm not going into the game questioning if Sorsby's going to, have, one of those, you have different quarterbacks over the years. Like, well, here comes the 3 turnover game that he has every few games. Probably not going to happen. He's probably not going to run. I think he's had one game where he's ran for over like 143 yards. Other than that, he's, usually in the 50, 60 category. So as long as they can kind of maintain him, but he is definitely one of them. And then, like I said, Dante Corleone is considered one of the best defensive tackles in college football. And then they had a tight end last year who did pretty well too. Looking at his name, Royer, 50 catches for 522 yards. That's a lot of production, and so that's pretty darn good. So there's just a few names that I think that have not necessarily. I mean, we've got some guys. Dayton Key could argue maybe be just on the. So there's a few guys with similar stats or arguments there. But I just highlight there are a few guys at Cincinnati that have earned the right to be circled when you're going into a game against the Bearcats.
It's funny because the 2 guys Butler talked about were the tight end and Sorsby, the quarterback. The 2 guys, offensively that you just highlighted. If you knew, would you say you pretty much know you're going to get above average quarterback play for him? Is that how you phrase it?
Yeah.
If you knew you could get above average quarterback play from Dylan, but maybe not great quarterback play. Not saying Sorsby can't be great, but you knew you could get above average, but definitely not great for this particular game. Would you take that? Or do you want the ceiling left open and the floor still available too?
I would, based on how last season ended, I'd probably take the above average quarterback play. And that goes to kind of our greater expectations. Again, you and I maybe within this room, different than the Husker universe as a whole, but I think that's the step he needs to take. If Dylan Raiola has a Brennan Sorsby type year and, maybe convert some of those rushing touchdowns, rushing yards into passing yards, I'd be very happy with what we ended up. Again, Sorsby, 18 touchdowns through the air, 9 on the ground. So that's 27 touchdowns to 7 picks. Heck yeah, sign me up for that.
I think I would take it for this first game, absolutely, because I think that's what we need. And I really think that's all we need. Not overlooking Cincinnati. But if I could pick high ceiling and potential low floor versus just give me a really good game from Dylan, if he gives us an above average or a really good game, we're going to win. Unless everything else just the bottom falls out, which God forbid. So I would take that. All right. Again, Butler said that Sorsby, Cincinnati's quarterback, is tough, will fight for extra yards. And I quote, "You have to know what animal you are hunting," end quote. Anytime an opposing coach equates you to an animal, it's usually very complimentary of the opposing player. They pointed out issues to guys from the week 0 games, mostly ball security and tackling. And penalties. That's where the sloppiness comes in game 1s. They really want to limit that for obvious reasons. Says he wants his fans to cheer their butts off. This is going to be like a home game for Nebraska. Love it. All right, here we go. Says Cincinnati has a weapon at the tight end spot. All right, the tight end. All right, the run game overall, the quarterback's ability to be an equalizer, and how does the tight end affect the passing game? So in the passing game, you mentioned he's a bit of a weapon. When it comes to their players, will be some of the first things they focus on early in the game. Also, not a bad blocker. Like, he's not per se just a blocking tight end, but he's not a hole in the run game when it comes to blocking for Cincinnati. There was a tight end that we played against. I didn't play against him. He was my teammate at the Rams. And one of the best pass catching tight ends in the history of college football. Not a blocker, not physical. I'll tell you his last name. We called it the Bird Rule because his last name was Bird. And as a defensive lineman, the Bird Rule was you don't get blocked by him. And if you get blocked by him, you had to run gassers after practice. Like, that's how not good of a blocker and how anti-physical this player was. Insanely talented at catching the ball. This guy, there is no such Bird Rule for this guy. All right. On his first time seeing the black shirts, he goes, that's pretty cool. They will not water down the black shirts. 11 or 12 black shirts will be handed out this year. See, Jake, not 14, not 15, not 22, like you were proposing earlier.
I'll see what I believe it. The coaching staff handed it out to a punter last year, so I'm not holding my breath.
All right. What if like one more black shirt's handed out and then the 12th one is the punter? Because you know some of the guys we listed that don't have it right now. That would mean they wouldn't be getting it and the punter would.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Wouldn't love it. And for my, we can ask Terrell too. Terrell was very much against the punter getting a black shirt too. So it's not just me over here.
No, it's just you. It's just you.
No.
No, it's just you. Hopefully we're not recognizing the punter as much this year as we have in past years. So hopefully it's not even a topic of conversation. Part of the reason Buschini got it because his back got blown up in the Rutgers game. And then he threw a punt on a pass on a fake punt that was converted. He pinned Rutgers deep inside their 20 multiple times. Like, if we're talking about the punter that much, especially a punter playing through being beat up physically, not great. So hopefully it's not even a topic of conversation because we're not talking about him as much going forward in the future. Now, he did say they have to earn the black shirts week to week. I just got a text. Okay, so the person who just texted me, can I read that text on air? Just text me and let me know yes or no. All right. I lost my train of thought. I get texts in the middle all the time. Not very many make me lose my train of thought like that, though. Let me gather my thoughts again. All right. Let's see. The black shirts have got to be earned week to week during the game and day to day in practice. Since it's pretty clear Cincy wanted to improve their speed at the wide receiver position, no, they will test us early with that. So they clearly feel like they have more playmakers out on the perimeter. All right. Zaire Wright, Andrew Marshall, and Donovan Jones are the three starters at corner. All right, so I can read it. Grant Wishram texted me. He goes, if a punter gets a black shirt, I'm turning mine back in.
Wow. See?
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
A little more validity to what I say.
Okay. You need a Grant to back you up. Is that what you're telling me?
One of the best black shirts of all time.
No, I won't argue with that. That's undoubtable. So, all right, nothing but love and respect there. Let's see. I am going back to kind of the DBs here. I am very excited to see Andrew Marshall. This dude is not, other than Rule bringing him up a couple times, he's not talked about a ton. When he first was brought in, Rule's mentioned him a couple times. That's been it. Like, I'm excited to see what he can do in the return game. I'm excited to see what he can do at corner. It was an odd stat because I remember this from when he committed to us from Idaho. He was the only all-conference corner in their conference. Nobody else was all-conference? Like, no other corner? I just thought that was weird. But he was the only first-team all-conference corner.
It's very weird.
Obviously coming up from the SES to join us, but I thought that was weird and interesting all at the same time. Really wants the D-line to show their ability to get to the ball. Really freaking get to the ball. Hold on. It was a quote. And I quote, really freaking get to the ball, unquote. That's been talked about a lot today. From Murtaugh to myself to now John Butler. And he wants the D-line to create a new line of scrimmage, wants them to live in the other team's backfield. I'm curious to see what he does with the D-line because we're going to have all sorts of personnel variances of personnel, I expect, with this unit from four-man lines. I think we're going to see more of those. Honestly, it's a three-man lines to, different linebackers, different second-level guys that are out there to pass rush guys and pass rush situations. I'm curious to see what he does in the D-line. We are a little bit lighter in the D-line. Does he do more stunting? And does he do like, I want to say pirate technique, but you're stunting inside to the inside gap, or a long stick technique where the defensive end is stunting from the C to the A gap, and a backer and an edge blitzer are coming off him in the B and the C gap with contain? Is it more straightforward, just get off, put your hand in the dirt, fly off the ball? I'm curious to see what happens and what he does, because the defensive line is really athletic. Really athletic. Just a little bit lighter. I'm curious to see what his game plan is with that. The heart and soul of any good defense is your defensive line. Well, I'm going to read that about 15 more times. The heart and soul of any good defense is your defensive line. You know, one thing that always irked me? The defensive line would always get stuck in the corner in practice. Like every other position had like 30, 40, 50 yards to work with, and we get stuck in like this 10-yard corner. Normally, we just get like the 10 yards of the end zone. But then come the game, or meeting before the game, it's all about the D-line. We're going to win and die based off the D-line. Yet you get 10 yards in practice. We really don't need much more, if I'm being honest with you. It just always kind of irked me. All right. I'm just going to read it again. The heart and soul of any good defense is your defensive line. Feels we have young guys with explosive playmaking abilities. I've said that. I've used the E word, explosive, which is weird to say on defense, but we have explosive playmaker type guys. How consistent will we be? That's what I'm curious to see. Randomly mentions he's a 76ers fan. They haven't won a championship since he was 10 years old. All right. They had multiple players also talk. Oh, that's a note for another thing. There was other multiple players that talked, and I got those notes here. Thoughts on him being a 76ers fan?
Tough year last year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been ups and downs over the years.
I like that Butler's opening up a little bit more. Maybe he's getting a little bit more relaxed, comfortable with things. I'm just curious to see what he does, because there are many guys that can make impacts in many different ways. How does he use the defensive line? Who comes in the different personnel groups? How often does he blitz versus not? A lot of times when you're very athletic, maybe a little undersized, especially up front, you tend to do a lot more stunting, blitzing, confusing. He talks about being in the backfield a lot. The only caveat to that, is making sure you're consistent in your coverages and you don't have a lot of mental busts on the back end and things of that nature, because that's when you're susceptible to big plays. I'm just excited to see what this defense can do. All right, you got any final thoughts before we go to break, Jake?
No, other than we haven't hit on the biggest topic of the day.
Oh, what'd I miss?
Oh, Taylor Swift.
Oh! All right, go ahead. I forgot. This is the major news.
Well, this is huge news. Just a few days before game day, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged. What effect will that have on the game? And they have to be there, right?
Are they getting married in midfield or something? I know this is big news. It's not something I'm personally that vested in. It is interesting because they will be at the game, Kansas City. I get it all. All right, text line. What are your thoughts on Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift getting married? Let us know. Jake, you got any final thoughts before we go to break?
No, I'm not quite a Swiftie, but she does put out a lot of good music. So I'm still cheering against her on Thursday. She's learning about football, but she probably doesn't quite understand all of it, she said so far.
All right. I want to know, do you think Taylor Swift makes good music? Let us know on the text line, and your reaction to the bombshell news that I almost forgot to talk about of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift getting engaged. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through August at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 1.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.2% interest fixed for up to another 36 months. When planning for this year's harvest, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your Landmark Implement today and check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hi, I'm Eli Barnes, Assistant Vice President at Midwest Bank at the 70th and Pioneers and 27th and Jamie Lane locations. I love working with families and small businesses right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Banking shouldn't be complicated, and that's why we make it personal. Whether it's opening your child's first account or securing a loan for your next big step, I'm here to help. Stop in today and say hello. I'd love to meet you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final segment of Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show. Again, it's sponsored by our good friends at Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business, Suizo Construction. Again, that's SCHWISOW.com. All right. Matt Rule says he has a very mature team. I think that's part of the reason he's mentioned he likes this team, like genuinely likes it as much as he's liked a team in recent memory. Got 50-plus texts from guys watching Week 0 games pointing out issues. Everybody's the coach, man. Everybody's the coach. I love that. All right. Says Kyle Cunanan would be the starter if the game was today. All right, he's also the backup punter. Kyle will not do kickoffs. We already have someone for that. I think I feel better about the kicking situation. It seems like Kyle has kind of claimed that job. Like the tackle job hasn't been claimed just yet. It feels like he's claimed that job. Obviously, he's got to keep earning it. But do you feel a little bit better about the kicking? I don't want to say situation, kicking position.
Yeah, I mean, I thought John Holt did a really good job last year too. So when he was alive, when the ball was placed down correctly, in front of his foot and all that. So if Kyle did come in and win that job from John, who I already think was we were in good footing with, then I do feel pretty good about that. It's not necessarily the kicking position. More often than not, that was the problem with the kicking unit last year.
The whole order of operations, just like I've tried to describe in math, and then you realize I'm not good at math and I should just stick to football, although special teams is not my forte either. I was on punt team in practice during one fall camp my redshirt freshman year. Then they took me off before games. And for whatever reason, I always ended up on field goal protection team too. Not just field goal block, but field goal protection team a lot as well. In fact, there's a card that people will show me every once in a while from my playing days, and I'm going like this because I'm trying to block the guy coming around the edge and block the punt. I'm trying to get my hand on him. People think I'm playing defense. No, that's a field goal protection picture. It's the one where I got all the crap on my wrist because my wrist is jacked up.
Uh-oh.
So if you ever see that one, that's not defense. That's field goal protection. All right, Rule, and I like this. Said he's made a commitment to having fun this year. I love Nebraska. I love Husker football. I love this state. This is let's be honest, it's a bit of a fishbowl. And that's the passion. That's a good thing. People care. People don't check out if you lose. People get riled up. They don't tune out. They tune in even more. It can be challenging. You have to make a concerted effort sometimes to have fun. It's a blessing in so many ways. But if you don't have the right attitude, it can affect you. He's made a concerted effort to have fun. I love that. Doesn't consider the game a neutral site game. It's a home game at Arrowhead Stadium. Talked about that. 100% true. I think for every Cincinnati ticket, if you look at the area codes that's been sold, there's 10 Nebraska ones that have been sold. It says Thomas Fedoni is very special to his family and personally very proud of Fedoni. All right. The process works for those who go through the process. Talk about getting back to the game, going through the process of winter conditioning and spring ball and summer conditioning and fall camp. The process works for those who go through the process and try to achieve something out of it. All right, Mac Markway had surgery and is in rehab. Best of luck to him. Speedy recovery, my friend. I think I mentioned this yesterday. 80 guys will go down to Arrowhead for the game. More will join the day of the game. All right, wants to go out and play with a ruthless mindset. Says we should be ready for anything. All right, Jake. I'm not here tomorrow. The game is Thursday. We'll chat before the game kicks off. But what are kind of your final thoughts? We've reacted to Holgorsen. We've reacted to Butler, gave an update on the defense. Now Coach Rule. What are your final thoughts as we head into this 48-hour stretch or so? Nebraska's first game of the year.
Well, obviously the excitement level is up to here, but obviously as well, it just feels good. It feels like the team's on the same page. You're not going in, even Coach Satterfield on the other side about a week ago was saying, we're not game one ready. It feels like, especially with what Coach Holgorsen was saying is like, all right, we've been through practice. It's time to get on the game. It's time to get this season started. So it feels like everything's been ironed out. We're not waiting to hear on the black shirts now and all that sort of stuff. So I think we're ready to go. I mean, I think that's the feeling is, Nebraska feels like they've prepared. Obviously, it's a different challenge to get going on a Thursday rather than a Saturday. But it feels like Nebraska's ready to give it at least their best effort and go at it here to begin the season, a very critical season, as we all know.
Time to go play some football. It's time to play some frickin' football. Jake has Nebraska an underdog. What'd you have, a 16-point underdog, something like that?
I said maybe the 3 or 4 point favorite, actually.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a glorious day. Until next time, go Big Red Noise. Remember to throw the bones.
Make this your best football season yet with help from Limitless Mail. If you're struggling with low energy, muscle loss, brain fog, belly fat, mood swings. It's likely low testosterone, and Limitless Male can fix that. We've helped over 100,000 men feel stronger, leaner, sharper, and more like themselves again. Don't sit on the sidelines this season. Take control. Book your free consult today at limitlessmale.com. That's limitlessmale.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went